Hello, hello, hello. You know exactly what time it is, aka another ungodly hour of the evening for me to be recording this. Is half of my family asleep? Yes. And still we record. Still we persevere on the floor of my closet. But today I thought we'd talk about something really freaking specific, but something I think is I don't know, just so important to my way of being. I don't even know, if I hadn't, intuitively figured this out from the very beginning, like, I would have been done for. I would have been so just not the person I am today, you know? And what that is, that defines me is how to protect your energy through the power of perception. Now, I take protecting my energy very literally because I was not genetically supplied with a lot of it. Like, I'm on a lot of supplements to keep me mentally okay up in the head. And so I don't have a lot of time to be all social as much as everyone else because I have to conserve so mindfully. And so I'm going to teach you how to do that. And I think the best way to describe it is the best way to deter energy suckers is to be the same person to all of those energy suckers. It's to be the same person to the mass public, you know? It's kind of like having an alter ego. But, just I don't know, it's such a flat alter ego. It doesn't have any actual defining characteristics that the energy suckers just gloss over you. They don't even care about who you are because you're so protected. Like, they already have you boxed in. They don't have to come and pick you apart and talk to you and try to figure you out, you know? This is how I'm never really in drama. This is how I stay out of drama. This is how I preserve my peace and my energy because it is vital to my health. Step one, step one, step one, step one, or tip one. Really, this doesn't have an order, but I think pretty privilege has a lot to do with who messes with you and who doesn't. And I'm not saying you have to be like super pretty or something, or pretty in like a societal sense at all. You don't really have to meet beauty standards as long as you meet like basic health standards and people see that you like what you're wearing. You like yourself, you know? If they have a sense that you have a strong, not necessarily a strong connection with yourself, but you generally like yourself and you are proud of at least somewhat of how you're presenting yourself, then they're going to leave you alone. Self concept is something that energy suckers don't have. And if you are high enough in your self concept, they're not even going to bother. The wrong people are not even going to bother. I mean, I have secure insecurities like anyone else on the planet. I'm not different. But I love the way I dress. I love putting effort into my makeup and my outfits every day. I like looking just a little bit preppy, not preppy, but just like a little bit more than everyone else, just a little bit fancy. but also with like my twist of alternative, you know? I like showing off my sense of self without being loud about it. Which leads me to my next section. Uh Silence is maturity. You can't be loud. The energy suckers are going to go for someone who acts like they have energy. I don't have energy, so I'm not acting like I have energy for them to take. If you feel like you have to go out and tell everyone about your business, you don't see the privilege, the right you have to your own privacy. No one has to know what you're doing. Like, I've told maybe like 2 or 3 people in my life about, what I'm doing here. They haven't seen my art. They don't know the kind of stuff I'm yapping about in my closet at 11:01 p.m. Like, no one at school is going to know that. No one. Like, if someone finds this somehow with the like 11 views altogether this channel has right now, then like trust it was not because I opened my mouth. I think you need to take this to heart because if people know things about you, like they're gonna ask. They're gonna get in your business. And the perception of you that they're gonna have is this girl who's doing all these things and needs to tell everyone. You know? If you need to tell everyone, it's clear to the energy suckers that you're trying to get energy back by giving it. And that's when they come in. That's when they swoop in. Like freaking vultures. Okay, next one. Uh choose this is kind of like this is the big thing in the video. Choose a projected persona. And what I mean by this is like a general idea of how you want others to see you. It has to be so simple. It has to be so like flat and stereotypical. And just like if you want to be so silent that you can only be described in a word to the people around you, and you have to be okay. Here's the thing, you have to be okay with other people being wrong about you. Like, so here's my projected persona. For the longest time in school, I just shut up and I read my book in class. And because nobody freaking reads in like people read. Of course people read. But like I don't see a lot of people ever just read in the middle of course like I do. Between like our sections going over stuff, I read. And I am the only one who has a book on the risers because that's just who I am. That's just what I've been doing since 7th grade. But since they see me busy in my own little book world, they're like, "Oh, she's a bookworm. She doesn't have anything going on. It's just her and her books." They don't ask any questions cuz they see the stereotype and they think they have me figured out. And trust, I love books. I'm not mad about the books or how they see me. But it's like the simplicity of it is it's so funny to me. And I could probably do a whole video of dissecting why the heck we are wired as humans to be so simple and to put ourselves in boxes. But video for another time. Back to the point of this video. It's that simple. If you can make yourself into a stereotype, the energy suckers, they're like They think they have you figured out. They don't want to mess with you. Especially me, who's sitting on the risers with her resting bee face, looking like she has no energy, looking like her world is in her books. And that, like, you have to be involved with yourself. You have to be, and this is my last tip, the biggest tip probably. You have to be okay with peace. If you want peace, you can't be putting it out into the world that you want more energy. You have to use your energy and grow it for you in the quiet. Like, have your close circle of friends, but your circle of friends has got to be so close. So close. You have to be able to trust them with your energy. If you're giving your energy to all the drama and all the chaos because the plot, I don't know, like, I've been there. Like, I've interacted with the drama for the plot because I don't know, it's amusing. It gives you dopamine. It gives you a kick, you know? But it's not worth it if it turns your life into chaos. You have to be involved with yourself. You have to put energy and time into the outfits you wear, which is why I emphasize style and your personal brand of pretty privilege. It's why I emphasize, I don't know, do your projects. Make your YouTube channel. Do your dumb art things. Collect candy wrappers. Uh, visit like local museums. I don't know. Just be so into your hobbies when you're in the silence. That is when that's when you're most creative. Stop just consuming when you're alone, because that's what makes you lonely. You're not fulfilling the great trifecta that is, you consume, you sit with that energy, and then you let it go. You create. If you're only consuming, you're going to be lonely, because that still lets the thoughts in. You got to get that out. You got to get that energy out, or the energy is just gonna turn stale. That's my perception of what happens when we doom scroll, and then we don't we don't have any hobbies. Because doom scrolling, yeah, it's relaxing, yeah, it's dopamine, it's something you do to unwind, but it's not something you do to sustain. You gotta stop with the bits of dopamine, and this goes for anything that gives you dopamine, or anything that, like, is an addiction, like food. If you keep binge eating sweets like I do, very, very guilty, but you don't get that energy out by working out, or going on a walk, or, I don't know, doing something that requires getting that energy out physically or otherwise, then the energy is sitting inside of you and it's collecting and it's not getting out. Energy is meant to be released. If you sit with stale energy, like, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. And the energy suckers are gonna come back and they're gonna eat you alive because you have all this stale energy. So not only are you gonna be drained, girl, but girl, you're gonna be drained and lonely and scrolling on Instagram, seeing everyone else's lives, and wondering why you don't have the energy to get out of your sweats. Why your life is so complicated and the drama is so bad and everyone's out to get you. It's cuz you bait everyone into coming back to get you. Like, if you stop oversharing and you start working on your projects, that's how you sustain yourself. And that's exactly what I've been doing to preserve my energy since like the 7th grade. I clocked this really early, guys. I don't know what it is, but you know what it is? I don't know. I have ADHD. Um, so neurodivergency. Super into any hyperfixation that gives me dopamine. Um, that's a box you could put me in. If that's all I said about myself on this channel, that's the box you would put me in. And you would not know anything else about me because that's the box you would put me in. You would simply scroll. Not the point. I don't even know what I was talking about. Hold on. Hyperfixations. That's where I was going with that. Yeah, I was in my own little world because my own little world was sitting in my dark room and writing little fan fictions and doing my art projects, interacting with people online with the same interests as me. I was into like so many fandoms and so many things, and I still am. But I find the more like I interact with like people at church and in school and just places where the energy suckers are, you know, real life, I find that I fall out of hyperfixations and I fall out of creating. And that it gets to you after a while because your schedule fills with seeing these people and doing these things, and you don't have as much time for yourself to preserve your energy. But thank you. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. Um happy you came, happy you came. Go drink some tea. Go think about how you're going to stereotype yourself to the grand public. For the love of God, stop sharing everything with the world. Love you. Good night, good night.